Y bueno, como digo, ahora vamos a pasar a la parte de tecnología. Y aquí vamos a intentarlo. Let's try, Jean-Baptiste. Do you want to share screen, or you prefer, if you want to start and I can translate you as you prefer? Or probably,
Okay,
okay, yeah, go
thanks,
ahead.
Juan. Actually, I do have a presentation. I think it will be easier for everyone that is not fluent in English to have a look at the presentation at the same time. So I'm going to try to share my screen with you guys. And let's see. Okay, is it working? Can you
Yeah.
see it?
Yeah.
Okay, super, great. So first of all, thank you so much for having me today. And yeah, unfortunately, I could not participate more actively in the discussion before because of my non-Spanish skills. But yeah, I really appreciate if you can translate like the important information, and if you need me to, I don't know, to slow down to explain things further, feel free to interrupt and let me know. And so to start this section about then the technologies for the art world, so I'm going to present ArtLogic, where I'm a senior sales consultant for nearly 4 years now. So to start, so ArtLogic is a technology firm for the art world, working mainly with galleries, artists, and collectors as well, and also like we expand a little bit, we started working with art fairs as well recently, and so things are continuing to evolve. So we're based in London, the headquarters, and also opened an office in New York 2 years ago now, and we've been in business for 25 years. So we look like a fast-pacing startup company in the art world, but actually we've been around for quite some time. So a bit of history actually on that. So the company has been funded by Peter Chatter and David Hooper. That's including, so Peter Chatter was working in an art gallery before, and realized, so basically he was in charge of doing the administrative work at the gallery, and just realized that all these papers, all those files didn't make much sense and was actually super slow and not efficient to manage the gallery. So he started developing a database, a software for the gallery itself originally, and quite quickly actually noticed that this software he started to develop was of interest for other galleries, and this is how basically ArtLogic started. So we started by the database that you see here, but from that we built like a full ecosystem of business tools for the galleries. So you have the database that includes contacts, artworks, invoicing mainly, and on top you can have a website as well, a sales app, CRM features, as well as mailings for sending your newsletters or your marketing emails. So I'm going to guide you through all of that. And of course, because it's quite a lot of information, etc. So if you have any questions or want to put things into more context, maybe with what's happening currently as well with COVID, etc. Yeah, let me know.
Okay.
So let's try. Okay, great. So this was just like a quick introduction of the database of ArtLogic itself. So basically, it's been founded 25 years ago, as I was saying, and it's here really to streamline and to make the admin work of art galleries easier, so they can just save time and spend the time on things that are really valuable to them, such as liaising with the artists, managing their artworks, and as well liaising with their clients. So basically, thanks to ArtLogic, it's a really unified solution. They just enter all the information once, and everything is centralized in one place. So, because right now, I would say the typical scenario for small, medium-sized gallery is that they're gonna have like 4, 5, 6 different systems where they input their data. So they could have one Excel spreadsheet for their artworks, one Excel spreadsheet for their clients, an invoicing system, then a marketing mailing account, then a website as well. And they basically input all their data in all those different places, which is super time consuming. And so when you just have one person dedicated in managing the data. So basically ArtLogic is just one unified platform online. They will just input their data once and then can then create an invoice, sell an artwork, send an email, and so on. So therefore saving lots of time. And also one thing to note, and which is really relevant today, so ArtLogic non-solution only. So the database, the website, etc., everything is online, meaning that actually during the COVID, it's been so very difficult time for couldn't work as teams locally in the offices, but actually thanks to the software, the teams have been able to continue working remotely together, and as well, so still getting with their clients, sending their emails, sending presentation of work, etc., with all the information available online, and also then having a really nice website to kind of replace temporarily the physical space which was closed. So let's show you a bit in detail of, oh, and also, yeah, one note about, so I was about the company still, so I was saying that we've been in business for 25 years, and that we're based in London and New York, and we now have, we now work with more than 1,500 clients worldwide. So mainly in UK and the US to start, but actually in the past 3 years, we grew a lot internationally. So lots of in like Europe, in France or Belgium or Switzerland or Germany, as well as in China or Singapore or Hong Kong, Taiwan and Japan, for example. And actually in Spain, we do have a few, not so many clients. So we do have a couple of artists, like private individuals, smaller like artist studios having their website with us, for example, or database plus website. We do have, for example, in Madrid, we do work with the Gallery Nicolas Cortes. And also in Portugal, we do work with Nuno Centeno, as well as The Spot, which is a sculpture park in Portugal. And to give you an idea of how then fast we're growing now, so as I was saying, we have 1,500 clients now up to date, but only last year we got nearly 500 new clients just in one single year. So it's growing exponentially because I believe that the art world, mainly galleries, which are businesses, and artists are getting more professional as well in terms of the tools they use, the websites they have, etc. More and more, they understand the benefits of technology to, of course, and that's maybe the most mainstream tools, like having a website in order to present their work, in order to get inquiries and like start new relationships, reach new audiences, but also as well as like just tools, internal tools for their businesses to manage artworks, contacts, etc. very efficiently. And so instead of, I'll show you very quickly just after about the database, like galleries could spend like hours creating PDFs or Word document to present artworks, you know, like copying, pasting images, adding the text, the prices, checking with someone if the price is correct, etc. And basically, thanks to so in an online system such as ArtLogic, you can just like in one click then create this document. So it's basically 2 seconds instead of hours of time spent on it. So to give you like the big picture of the ecosystem, so you have the database, which is really like the core, with all the like centralizing all the information of a gallery. So with all their contacts, artworks, invoices, sales information. You have also a sales app, which is on iOS devices that synchronize with the database, obviously, and that allow you to keep all the artworks offline on your device. So when you're meeting a client, when you're at a fair, for example, if you visit a fair, you'll probably see galleries with their iPads, looking at documents, looking at images with the clients, and directly from there, they can send then an offer email to follow up straight away with the client. And as well, the website, that's same, synchronized with the database, and that will, oh, I have, okay. And the website that's yeah, again synchronized with the database, so you don't need just in one click all the artworks that you have in your inventory of the gallery just are being shared with the website. So database very quickly. So you have inventory to manage all your artworks, prices, the shippings, the locations, the creation of documents, contacts over here, sales, CRM, and marketing features. So you can record all the offers that you make to your clients, the artworks offers, the CRM to keep track of the relationship that you have with your clients. Who is this person? Where we've met this person? Has he bought any work in the past, etc. As well as marketing for sending marketing emails, your newsletters, or if you do organize events at the gallery, private dinners, for example, you can have a list of contacts, then check them in when they arrive, etc. And everything is recorded automatically. And invoicing and accounts for just as well in one click. In order to sell a work, you create the document automatically and everything is recorded. You can then keep track of the payments that you accept as well. And also, because I know it can be sometimes quite lots of work as well, to automatically calculate the split between the gallery and the artist when the artwork is sold. You know, when you have a work on consignment for 50%, for example, then automatically the system will calculate the amount due to the galleries, the amount due to the artist. And actually, very concretely, I can show you what it looks like. So we have here the database. So that's the homepage. So you see, you have all your sections at the top: contacts, artists, artwork, sales and marketing. So the software is in English, obviously, but if you input the information in Spanish, then the content will appear in Spanish when you create a document or send the artwork on the website, for example. You have here the contact section. So you can just click through very quickly through all your contacts, and you have their details in the preview pane over here. You can download a couple of documents. So the system is compliant to GDPR as well, because I know this was we know it was a really strong concern for galleries at the time. So hopefully now everything is clearer about it, but just so you know, marketing and event lists, as I was mentioning earlier. You can see here the artists, the works from the artist that the person owns. So here, like 3 artists, as well as the interest and categories. And interest in categories is a super important thing to keep track of, actually via a system such as ArtLogic, or not even, like just even in a spreadsheet if you don't have a system, because you can then be very targeted when you have new set of works available by one of your artists. So instead of then spamming in a way your entire mailing list when you have an opening by a specific artist, you can then really target specific groups of clients. So you have that here. And also to show you very quickly the artworks. So you see, same layout, you flick through the artworks here. You have the status and availability. So this one is on consignment available. This one is sold. And you have the information again in the preview pane. So you see the location, the price. You can download documents very quickly, and to show you how fast it is. So a fact sheet here, you just select the information that you'd like to include in this document, and you hit download. And okay, here we go. And yeah, here we go. So in one click, you see you have your document that is generated with your headers and footers, with the logo of the gallery, with your fonts, instead of spending then like lots of time editing manually these documents. So that was for the database very quickly. And for the private views app, so this is something that is really useful, and actually, so for galleries, obviously as a sales tool. So when they're at fairs, extra meeting with clients, they have all their works available in the app, so they can just like show them directly to the collectors, as well as for artists to keep track of like all the works they produced over time, and to easily have them nicely cataloged and archived, so they can really browse them as a catalog. And same for collectors. Actually, it's a really popular tool for collectors, because they will input all their collection, all the artworks in the database, but actually will mainly use the app, so they can just like show to their family, to their friends, the works that they have, and discuss about their collection this way. And so also websites. And actually this is, I think, a point which is particularly relevant today, because many galleries realize that they haven't invested enough in their websites. And because of the COVID situation and that the spaces had to close for some time, we, for example, at ArtLogic, had so many requests about galleries that just didn't know where to start, or like just needed then to kind of raise their profile online. And so yeah, so we started lots of conversation actually during the COVID about the website. And sometimes I would say galleries are not tech savvy people, can be quite confused about websites, and they think it's like they need to know coding, or they need to know how things works, etc. But actually nowadays with the technologies, we ArtLogic, but also other like website providers, like things are not complicated at all now to set up a website. So you can really just you have your one person gallery, you're the only one working there, and actually you can just subscribe to an ArtLogic website, set it up by yourself, upload the content, customize it as you want, and you do not need any technical or developer knowledge basically for that. And what makes our websites even easier for galleries and artists is that they've been built specifically for their needs, meaning that you don't need you don't create you don't need to build the website at all. Basically, it's all about you adding the content in it. So basically you create an artist profile, you create an artwork record, you create an exhibition record, you create a news that relates to the exhibition, etc. And all the content automatically display very nicely on the website. So you don't need to create all these pages and links between pages manually. And we also have, so the backend has been built for the galleries, and this is why it's so easy to populate. But also on the front end, we do have then Artworld specific features, such as, and I'll show you actually a couple of examples, such as inquiry buttons for each artwork. So basically people can inquire and ask for more information about one artwork, as well as obviously e-commerce. So if you want to sell your works or prints online, or even your catalogs of exhibitions, you can as well sell them directly on your website. And also a feature that we call view on a wall, which basically allows you to project, like the visitors to see the artwork hanged on a wall. So they can really understand the perspective and the dimensions of the work in a room. So let me show you actually a couple of examples here. Oh, how do I? Okay. Yeah. So for example, we have here. Oh, can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, super. So here, that's the a bespoke website that we've done for Simon Lee. So London, New York, and Hong Kong gallery. And so they have a viewing room section here. And interestingly, so they're hosting the viewing room that they have at the same time at Art Basel in their online viewing room on their website. So if we scroll down here, so first of all, what's the viewing room about? Just to clarify, because we talk a lot about virtual exhibitions, virtual tours, and viewing rooms, and actually they're very different things. So the virtual tour or the virtual exhibition is basically you're replicating online your space. So it's basically you took like so many pictures of your space, and through like a service provider, you can rebuild your space online, and basically people will be able to then click and go through your space as it currently exists in your gallery. However, the online viewing room is very different because it's more like I would say you creating a new exhibition online on your website. It's basically considering your websites as an additional space, as an extended space of your gallery. So you have exhibitions that you host at your gallery physically. People can go to talk to you, can read some more about the artworks, read about the exhibition, etc. And basically an online viewing room is considering your website as an additional space, and you're hosting then online only exhibitions on your website. And the idea is to really to work the same way than you currently work with, like when you organize exhibitions at your gallery. It's basically about then really adding lots of content. So obviously curating the artworks and the exhibitions, and adding lots of content and context around the artworks. So the visitors can really go through the exhibition. You see, you have a video here, and then build their own confidence and understanding of the works of the artists that you present. And so you have different things. So you have obviously what makes a viewing room efficient. You have the context and the content, and the same way an offline exhibition in your will be successful because the works are amazing, and because the creation work is amazing, and because you've done lots of work on producing content, etc. It will work the same way for your online exhibition in your viewing room space. So it's about curation and content, obviously. You also have the viewing room is also time sensitive, as a real offline exhibition is, which stimulates the audience, basically. So it drives new traffic on your website, and because there is new content, and people looking at the works, etc., will just be like more eager to inquire and ask for more information, because then in like a few weeks' time, this content will be gone. And also it's about the tools as well, about the context, as I was saying. So let's show you, for example, when we click on a work here, I'm going to show you then view on the wall, how it works. So obviously we have like a zoom, you can have additional images. So you see, you do have lots of information about these artworks, and you have here view on the, so you even have the price displayed at the top. And view on the wall, we then just project the work in the space. So here, this is a bespoke website, and the space that you see here is the actual space of the gallery, which is really nice, because then the gallery really keeps the identity that they have at their gallery space and through the online space. So this is one example. I'll show you Pilar Coyas is a very recent website we've launched. So here is another online viewing room. So again, you see the video starting automatically. You have the content, the works that are included. And if we click on one work, you arrive on the artwork detail page. And again, view on the wall. And here it's a completely different space, basically, again, like a picture of the gallery space that they took and that we've implemented on their website. And a last one, which is really nice. It's a really, really nice website, really dynamic. It's basically, so Philip Mould presenting Old Masters artworks. And it's a very contemporary website for Old Master dealers. and again, so when you click on a work, you'll see, so the artwork detail here. You have the inquire button. So I'll show you. So basically you start filling in an inquiry form, and automatically you can sign up to the newsletters as well as the gallery. So it's a way for them to grow their mailing list. And you have this view on the wall feature, and it's very special for them because they have a really nice space, and also they wanted to implement their dog, and basically we have different versions. So if you look at one work here, so you have this specific environment, but I believe that if you look at another artwork, or if you just click again, you see the environment changes. So it's much more dynamic and really nice and enjoyable for the visitors. And you see straight away, yeah, and you see how efficient this view on the wall tool is, like just in 1 second, because obviously you do have the dimensions and you can then kind of calculate or think about how the artwork will look like in a room. But just in one click, it's like you're at their space. Obviously it's not the same. You don't feel the artwork. You can be as close and look at the details, etc. But it gives you, like, for an online.
I like the fact that the dog is in different places. Is seated
in
different places.
Yeah. No, it's really nice. And so you see, I think like all these online viewing rooms and the content, the layouts, these kind of features or like environments are really like the start, I feel. And we're all all galleries kind of experimenting, as well as art fairs. When you look at Freeze online viewing rooms or Art Basel online viewing rooms, you kind of feel that everyone is experimenting and trying to find the right formula, basically, to make art engaging online and more accessible, and so we can feel and understand artworks through a website, even though like it's much less strong than seeing them in life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you see, so it's just like, I think it's the trend of the online viewing rooms is really interesting because it's kind of like a laboratory to me, like for online websites, etc. Like it's gonna change and continue to evolve a lot over the next few months and years. And also one more things I could add in the discussion, because a couple of years ago we were talking a lot about e-commerce, like selling art online, but actually with e-commerce tools and basically a buy now button. It does work for right now. The price point continue to increase years on years, but like I don't believe that the selling art online is about the e-commerce or about this buy now button. Selling art online to me is just to create a new channel to present your artworks, to create new relationships. And this is why actually lots of our galleries that we build website for do not have e-commerce enabled. So maybe for catalogs or maybe for lower priced artworks, but all of them will have this inquire button, because this is this inquire button that will trigger, that will basically create this discussion that you have with the visitors that actually you didn't know before. So this is where things start to me. And actually, so selling art online is to me about creating this first this first contact basically through your online channels.
Yeah, this is a discussion we have many times, like people thinking that online sale is just when you complete a process of buying art online. Sometimes was used like to highlight that you don't sell that much online art. We always said that this is not true, that online is very important in the buying, this decision buying process, because probably the user found about you online,
Exactly.
went to your website or see you in the different marketplaces. After that, they contact you directly by email or by phone, but online was part of the process. So if you remove the online part, maybe you will lose sales. So it's very difficult. That's why we like the hybrid model, because we believe that the physical presence, to see the artwork or not, but you have to use the different channels on, off. That way you don't lose opportunities, and you create like a holistic experience, and that will work better than just focusing on off or on.
Yeah, and I think the channel for technology companies, and especially art platforms, is to actually really show, obviously, all that they actually do deliver inquiries, because like it's really obvious when you make a sale directly through the platform, like the gallery, like see, okay, I have a sale from Arte or a sale from Artnet directly, okay, but it's but there's so many just leads that will, like, people see a work, then they will call the gallery or they will email the gallery directly. So
Exactly.
there is, I think it's really challenging, I think, for platforms to kind of keep track and really show their clients that actually they do
useful.
deliver. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
this is a good a good point to later discuss with Aníbal, because exactly he will introduce a new, not new, but a new model he's using as a platform. Before they were more like a B2C channel, but now they will evolve to a more platform model. Anyway, before you go, I don't know. I will type here if anyone needs some translation. I think was pretty straightforward anyway. But
and maybe just to finish, Juan, because you mentioned that indeed you would like very concrete information.
yeah,
I can tell you
I
that
will going to ask you. You won't go without mentioning price. Don't worry.
okay.
But yeah, you can start. I will ask in the chat if anyone has any doubt.
Okay, cool.
But you can continue. You go on and you explain the business models.
Yeah, super. So let me see where we're at. Okay, so actually I was about that. So so basically so you're an art gallery, you want to change your website, or you feel that you have way too many paperwork, or that you manage your data in so many different places. It's really easy to just get started with either a database or a website or an online viewing room, or just everything at once, because everything is synchronized. So actually it's quite easy to just get started with the database, with the website, the online viewing room at the same time. And so really easy. So you just basically sign up, and it takes us like 5 business days to set up your account, your database, your website. And there is obviously the question of, how do I get my data into the system? So I have all my contacts in an Excel spreadsheet. I have my artworks as well in an Excel spreadsheet. How do I move it onto ArtLogic? So you can easily self-import. So you can just create, a new record and just create a new artwork, create a new contact, etc. But indeed, if you have lots of data, you can then bulk import it directly using self-import tools. So we do have templates that you download. You just fill in your data and then upload these Excel templates onto the system, and automatically it will create all the contacts and the artwork records. And if you, so that's like these two over here that you see, the free self-service import tools for contacts and artworks. Or if you have a bit more complicated data, especially if you do have lots of artworks editions, so multiples, like photography, for example, we could do this standard import for you, because it might be a bit more technical. And as well, when doing this standard import, we will run some quality checks as well to make sure everything has been imported quickly. But if you're using, and the last scenario is basically if you're using already a system to manage all your contacts, your artworks, create your documents, then you might need our bespoke import services, because the structure of your data will be much more complex, and therefore it will require one of our import specialists, like our in-house programmers, to work on the import on a script in order to associate all the fields from your current system to ArtLogic and then import your data. And for the website, it's easier because you don't bulk import data. It's more like you create an exhibition extra. So you need to recreate things manually. If you do have a website right now, you will need to recreate things by yourself on the new website. So it can take a bit of time. But if you need some help doing so, because some galleries are really busy or just don't have time to allocate to that. So we do have a global network of ArtLogic certified freelancers that can help you then migrate your content. Or even, so this could be just to help you set up the website and upload the content. But if then you need, some of them have an expertise in just ongoing website management, as well as some social media campaigns or designs. So basically we can put you in touch with one of these freelancers that can then help you managing your ArtLogic ecosystem basically. And so for the prices, so basically you have the full ArtLogic ecosystem, meaning base, the website, the marketing emails, the online viewing rooms, that is available as from £175. This full ecosystem of tools is available with this only single subscription fee. There is no setup cost at all, so there is no nothing to purchase really upfront. There is just a subscription. And so the full ecosystem will be 175 and above, obviously, if you have more users or if you have more complex needs or you need more features, etc. And but you can also, if you only want to start a website, to start. Afterwards, you will add the database. Afterwards, maybe you will add the marketing else. Basically, these are all modules, so you can compose really your plan for the ArtLogic database that suit the most your needs. So the database itself starts at £90 per month, 90 plus VAT pounds per month. The website starts at £65 per month, so just a website itself. Then if you want the viewing room, it's a bit more, for example, but so database itself 90, website itself 65, and on top, so you can add, if you have a database, you can add the mass mailings. If you have a website, you can add the viewing room, and the full solution with all the features, basically all in one, will be 175.
Okay, maybe I will explain a little bit in Spanish so they can understand. Vale, básicamente, bueno, el modelo de ArtLogic es un modelo que en otros sectores existe también, que se llama Software as Service. Se pasa de un modelo de compra de un sistema o de un programa que tiene un coste, pues, como podéis imaginar, muy alto, se paga se paga anualmente, por ejemplo, o que lo adquieres, y pasa a ser un modelo de, digamos, como de alquiler de un software del cual, pues, vas pagando mes a mes, que además lo puedes elegir a tu conveniencia, puedes elegir solo un módulo. De precios, por ejemplo, ha dicho, si quieres utilizar como la parte de base de datos, que es más de gestión de todo tu negocio, pues estaría desde 90 pounds por mes. Si quieres solo web, solución web, pues sería solo 65 pounds por mes. Desde, porque bueno, claro, depende de tus necesidades, depende de tus artistas, de tus obras, de las cosas que necesites, pues el precio puede subir o bajar. Y hacen como un paquete también que incluiría lo que es base de datos y web por 175 pounds todo junto. Pero como digo, o sea, todo esto es modulable, ampliable, escalable. Así que, bueno, igualmente como podemos, después de que esto acabe, os enviaremos información adicional y podéis, como él dijo, nosotros desde The Art Market es un producto que les hemos buscado porque creemos que es súper buena solución y nosotros mismos nos podemos encargar de coordinar y de ayudar en las dudas y en los presupuestos, etc. También, no sé si nos darán alguna oferta que podamos utilizar en España. Eso es algo que también está por ver. Jean-Baptiste, I was just explaining that this is a scalable model that they could apply for website, they can subscribe for the database, or they can subscribe per both. The prices are starting from, and depending on their needs, they could scale or downgrade.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, this is a really good point because we do work with like just one person galleries or just one person like private individual artists, for example. So really like small organizations. But so from one person organization till like multinational galleries such as Marian Goodman or Victoria Miro or Almin Resch that have like 6-7 locations worldwide with over 80 employees. So you can see, you can really, like it's as scalable as that. So basically going from one person up to like the multinational organization.
Perfect. And I took the liberty to say that we could help here from Spain as the Art Market Hub, in which we do consultancy, we do many things related with art and tech. So we will do more,
Indeed, on that. So a couple of clients here, but basically you do have help and support included in all our plans. So basically you have email and or phone support, so assistance if you have any questions or if you encounter any problems with the systems. But the service is still only available in English. So we could definitely like see with Juan as well if you needed any assistance in the onboarding or on an ongoing basis, how eventually Juan could help you then having this in Spanish.
Yeah, of course, you have a great team. It could be like more a referral or a help at the beginning, but then your team is more than prepared to
exactly.
to
but
help them.
Yeah, just to say that, so when you buy a new website or you buy a new database, sometimes it can be a bit scary, especially for people that don't know at all about technologies. But just to let you know that you're not alone in front of your new website or your new database. And if you have any questions or help, we have lots of help resources, videos, etc. But as well, a team of people that actually you see around here. So between our offices of London and New York. So here you have the sales team and myself here. And in there you have our client liaison team. And so we have 10 of them between our 2 offices, meaning that you benefit from assistance from the 2 time zones, New York and London. And meaning that if at the end of the day, you have a problem and the London office is closed, you still have access to the London office that can help you as well dealing with things. So
perfect. I think was very interesting, Jean-Baptiste. We are getting a little bit late, so we have to jump.
Yes.
I don't know if you wanna stay. You are more than welcome. If you have to go, we understand. After the meeting, after the Zoom tomorrow, this afternoon or maybe tomorrow, we will send information if they need to contact you directly, or as I said, maybe you could offer a specific price point for the attendance to this webinar to help them to decide. We did a little poll here. It seems that they are interested in changing from the current websites and needs they have. So probably you will get leads from.
Yeah, I'd be delighted to help. Any questions, and I might stay. Actually, I'm totally available this morning. So even if there is any questions afterwards, or if you have a Q&A, then I'll be very happy to help on that.
We are asking through the chat. For now, we don't have so far any questions, so probably we are explaining everything very, very cool. But we will try after the last conversation, we will ask again we will allow, lo voy a decir, I'm going to say in Spanish, permitiremos si alguien a través del chat o hace uso de levantar la mano en Zoom, le podemos dar voz para que hagan alguna pregunta al final de todo.